Gonna check out my FPV RC car here. I got set up. 3D printed a little mount here. I got the VTX and a fan and everything mounted in there. Let's see. Here's a little hot tip. You can make some thumb screws. Add some nuts to your screws. Also, if your screws are too long, that's the actual reason I did it. Thumb screws is a happy accident. So I gotta take the camera off. And I got that mounting screw down in here. I'll slide the camera out. And then I'll just take that out. We can take a look at this. Let me stick a screw back in here real quick. One on that side. There we go. Just keep it in place for a minute. So there's the setup there. You got the Speedy B VTX, goes up to 800 milliwatts. Seems to do pretty good. I got a Noctua little 5-volt fan here, just because I knew I was going to be running 5 volts to everything else. And then I got this is a Foxier Razor. And then I 3D printed this little mount here. It's got a little indexing points here that line up on the car. You can see the little thumb screw here. I just got that, and I push it down in there, and then I did the super glue baking soda trick and kind of weld it and meld it down in there. And then I got the little indexing tab so it can't spin or rotate, kind of gives it something to hold on to there. You can see kind of sets down over it, but that keeps airflow going at the VTX when you stop or anything like that, because these things just get super hot. And then I got a little splice here. This thing runs, it comes with 2S batteries that use little Dean's connectors. I made an adapter to use XT30s just because that's all my other stuff uses XT30s. This is a little 2S battery, but it can also run on 3S batteries. These stock ones, I think it's 1050 milliamp hours. These are 1100, 3S, 2S. So, works out pretty good. I'll put the stock one in here. It's got a little door. Let's see. And that just sits in there, and then if I was going to drive it with no FPV, just plug it in right like that, and I'm good to go. Put the lid on. Good to go. But then when I go into FPV mode, I can take this guy, screw it into there. Need to make it so I got access to that mounting screw without taking the camera out, but it's kind of an afterthought at this point. So I'll put this back on. Screw that thing back down. Right into our little press nut there. Get our camera back up in action. Back. There we go. Get that in there. So you see how that sits up in there now. And then I'm saving this little input here. I'm going to use that to power my run cam thumb, because I don't use that super often, so I wanted it to be a little more easily removable. So I'm going to take the GPS power and use it for my run cam, because it puts out 5 volts. But to power the little trifecta here, to power the camera, the VTX, and the little fan, I just spliced in an XT30 little jumper here, and it just steals power. And then this is a little Beck 5 volt, so it puts out 5 volt to all 3 of these guys, the fan, the VTX, and the camera. And that just plug it into the car, and then plug it into the battery here. It's good to go. You see the VTX is on, fan is on. That's the setup right there. I'll pull out the. Let me pull this out real quick. So this is coming out of the camera right now, and I'll put some video at the end of me actually driving out at the park. It's kind of bouncy, but that'll give you an idea. So turn that guy on. I have trouble with this remote when I first got it, but you have to hold this button and then turn it on, and then it'll sync. That's the only way it'll work for me. But a subscriber was asking about the signal strength, and if the throttle messes it up. It seems to be fine. Doesn't seem to cause any problems. Even in the video where I'm at the park, I'm jumping and bashing around on the in the grass and stuff like that, and giving it gas, and it seems to be fine. I think you could definitely. They had mentioned making a mount to put it over the fan to also cool it, the VTX, and you could definitely do that. That's 100% where my mind was when I first started. And then as soon as I started wanting to adding a fan, and then it's kind of like, well, you got to add something to mount the camera anyways. It kind of turned into, it'd just be more efficient to make it an all-in-one little unit here that I could take off. And essentially I could put this on other cars too. I could, design other ways to mount this to other things. So works out as a pretty universal setup. This thing drives for maybe 10 minutes tops if you're being really loosey-goosey and baby-wavy with the gas. You put it on the slow mode, if you put it at half, it's only 70% power. So if you put it in this, it'll probably last you 10 minutes driving around. But put it at full power and driving all crazy and doing burnouts and stuff at less than 5 probably. You can see I got some battle damage. This thing's pretty sweet. I think I need to replace something in the front end here because this thing's getting a little extra wobbly. But yeah, there's that. All working. I dig this. Feed the little antenna up through the hole in the top. Cable was sticking out of the side. That's kind of how it sits. Usually the camera's up a little more. I'll put the other screws back in it. can see just a little bit of the hood. Angle it down, see more. It does get pretty warm. I don't think I'd want to just leave this sitting here for a long time. Like, I wouldn't want to drain a whole battery with it just sitting in there. But so far so good. I'll keep ripping packs through it and I'll let you guys know if anything changes. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Here's some of the footage of me at the park. I'm driving around on the basketball court. It's fairly smooth. It's got some cracks. You can see it. Usually the jostling or hard impact is what will mess up the camera feed more than throttling up or down or anything. But I drive around the basketball court for a little bit, and I do a little bit off-road, and the grass at this park is junk. It's just bumpy and grumpy everywhere you go. So try not to get seasick. If you can't watch, don't force yourself to keep watching. But I drive over into the corner here, give a little range test, show you what the feed looks like, and it always looks better in the headset. Like, it looks much clearer in this, and it doesn't quite break up as often either when you're actually in the headset. I drive around some chain link fence towards the end just to kind of test, and it's through some curbs and stuff, so I feel like it's got pretty good range for what it is. But yeah, once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.